व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमदेसी भक्तवृंद स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 13, Texts 7 and 8. 7 has no purport, so I'll just chant the verse. Gandhavastushu taddeham nidhaya muni sattamaha samapte satra yagecha devanuchu samagatan. Translation. During the performance of yajna, the body relinquished by Maharaj Nimi was preserved in fragrant substances, and at the end of the Satra Yaga, the great saints and brahmanas made the following request to all the demigods assembled there. Text 13.8. Ragnyaha Jivatu Deha Ayam Prasannaha Prabhavaha Yadi Tatha Iti Ukte Nimihi Praha Ma Bhut Me Deha Bandhanam Ragnyo Jivatu Dehoyam Prasannaha Prabhavo Yadi Tathet Yukte Nimi Praha Ma Bhun Me Deha Bandhanam Ragnya Jivato Dehoyam Prasannaha Prabhavo Yadi Tathetyukte nimi praha ma bhun me deha bandhanam Ragnya jivatu dehoyam prasannaha prabhavo yadi tathetyukte nimi praha ma bhun me deha bandhanam Rajnyo jivatu dehoyam prasannaha prabhavo yadi tathetyukte nimi praha ma bhun me deha bandhanam Ragna prasannaha prabhavo yadi deha bandhanam Ragno jivatu deoyam prasannaha prabhavo yadi tathetyukte nimi praha ma buddheha bandhanam. Word translation. Rajnyaha, of the king, jivatu, may again be enlivened. Deha, dehayam, this body now preserved. Prasannaha, very much pleased. Prabhavaha, all able to do it. Yadi, if. Tatha, let it be so. Iti, thus. Ukte, when it was replied by the demigods. Nimi, Maharaj Nimi. Praha, said. Ma bhut, do not do it. Me, my. Deha bandhanam, imprisonment again in a material body. Translation and purport. If you are satisfied with this sacrifice, and if you are actually able to do so, kindly bring Maharaj Nimi back to life in this body. The demigod said yes to this request by the sages. But Maharaj Nimi said, please do not imprison me again in a material body. Purport. The demigods are in a position many times higher than that of human beings. Therefore, although the great saints and sages were also powerful brahmanas, they requested the demigods to revive Maharaj Nimi's body, which had been preserved in various perfumed balms. One should not think that the demigods are powerful only in enjoying the senses. They are also powerful in such deeds as bringing life back to a dead body. There are many similar instances in the Vedic literature. For example, according to the history of Savitri and Satyavan, Satyavan died and was being taken away by Yamaraj. But on the request of his wife, Savitri, Satyavan was revived in the same body. This is an important fact about the power of the demigods. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vikas Swaminiti Namini. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschat Deshatharini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Verse again. Ganda vastushu taddeham nidhaya muni sattamaha samapte satra yage cha devan uchu samagatan. During the performance of the yajna, the body relinquished by Maharaj Nimi was preserved in fragrant substances, And at the end of the Satra Yaga, the great saints and brahmanas made the following request to all the demigods assembled there. So we are seeing in this verse, it's saying that the saints and brahmanas who King Nimi had appointed to do the yajna, they had requested demigods to bring King Nimi back to life after the yajna was completed. So the point is made in the purport that demigods are powerful in enjoyment. So people want to go to their planets, become demigods. But they're also powerful, they have powers higher than us. That's why they are demigods. So we read it many times in Shastra about how that we hear and we read that we cannot extend our life even 1 second beyond whatever it is ordained. We read many times. Prabhupada says in lectures also. So even, for example, there's an indication in Jyotish Shastra, some indication of when we might leave our body. It's not exact, but Jyotish gives an indication. So that is true. However, we also understand there are situations where life can be prolonged and death can be changed. This is one example. It's possible for life to be prolonged for a dead body. We see sometimes, for example, in Mahabharata, Bhishma Dev was given the benediction, I think by his father, that he could die at his will. And we saw how he delayed his death. So that is there. We are at a different karmic level, so we had different abilities. In the past, people had much more powerful abilities. For example, how Bhagavad Gita was seen from very far away by Sanjay. How Bhagavatam was spoken to so many sages without a mic and a speaker. So many examples are there, which we now have to replace with technology. Abilities that we could do before, flying, now it's not possible. So we shouldn't be surprised. Shastra will give different things which now seem like something amazing. We see in this example that King Nimi had died, the body was there, it was preserved. It was preserved so it would not deteriorate, degrade, decompose. So it was ready for him to come. He could have returned. But he was self-realized. He was not self-realized in the sense, he knew I am not the body, this world is temporary, this material body is a place of, this material world is a place of suffering. Material body is source of our suffering. Why should we accept another material body? Prabhupada says in the purport about the power of the demigod, I mentioned that point, that they had certain powers and therefore demigods are not God, but there's in English this word demi. Demi means half. Half or partial, half God. They have godly powers, some kind of powers, because they are representatives of God. A rich man, he will have powers, the servant of a rich man will have powers equal to the rich man, almost. I give this example. Sometimes we were going book distribution. So in Bangalore, we come to these very big houses and we cannot enter, the guard stopping, big problem. So then the guard will come, why you want to enter, what do you want, who are you, you have an appointment. And we are speaking to the guard and he ends up buying books, so many. Then we realize, oh, these guards are rich. They're guards of rich people. They also have money, more than the other houses we went, where they could not afford the book. So when one becomes servant of God, they take on some qualities, godly qualities, powers, aishwarya, opulences, not equal to God, but partially. So we see that in this case. People following the Vedic culture in the modern age, or you can say modern, so it keeps coming down. Modern followers of Sanatana Dharma. Because Sanatana Dharma has so many, like someone can engage in worshipping this personality or that personality or whatever. But most people opt to worship demigods. In Sanatana Dharma path, so much information is given how to worship demigods and what we'll get. So mass of people They elect to worship demigods and try to take shelter of the demigods because of, they know, the demigods they will give. If we follow worship properly, they will give what we want. They're empowered to do that. Vedic culture does not advocate this hard work in the modern day. People to get money work so hard, so many hours. But according to Vedic culture, whatever we want, we simply have to follow a certain procedure, worship certain demigods in a certain way, we'll get it. That was not such a big thing. If, like Karadama Muni, he built a flying city, Viman, that, with a city, and so many personalities, whatever they want, they could have done. The system was not like now that due to ignorance, people work so hard for some benefits. That was not the Vedic system. So the people understand still what is the system of worship to get health, good health, worship the sun, to get, I don't know what other, to overcome material obstacles, worship Ganesh, like that. So many different devatas. So due to improper vision, they have taken that path of acquiring material benefit through worship due to ignorance. If we really understood our position, we will not do that. If someone is in a plane that is about to crash, they announce, okay, this plane is going to crash, and everyone is panicking, and then someone is calling that, air hostess, can you get me a glass of water? He did not understand what is the situation. Either that or he's mad. Person could not realize. So in this material world, we are in a very precarious situation. What is going to happen? What will be our next birth? What will be our destiny after death? We don't know. But people don't understand that. So they're still busy living this life looking for material benefits. We are trapped in this material body. Even if we die, we'll come back again. There's no way to escape this cycle of birth and death. Therefore, this material world is called Durga. Durga. No, Durga is the personality. Durga means difficult to overcome, difficult. We cannot come out of this cycle. And if we take birth again, where will we, what will we do? We don't understand this point. But material world looks like as if everything is very nice, there is no problem, don't worry, enjoy, so many options to enjoy. Because old age happens slowly, very slowly. So we cannot see that horror. If it happens suddenly, we'll realize, oh, something is going wrong. But gradually, day by day, we are advancing to death. As Prabhupada said many times, when a child is born, people get happy, okay, that's good. But someone with a different vision will see child is born and his death is born. And simply that he's dying every day. And final death is, whenever it is, he's supposed to die. So if we then simply delay the death, what is the point of that? So King Nimi had died, and they told him, you come back. This will not be your death, it will be later. So what is the point? If we delay the death, what did we gain? We'll still die. We are still in the material body. Still subject to miseries because of this material body, which is known as kleshada. Giving suffering. Why do we want to associate with something that is giving us suffering? So the point is that we had to come out of the cycle. We have to come out of this. This should be our endeavor. And now, due to ignorance, people's endeavor is, let me extend my life. Let me, in this short life, enjoy what I can. But intelligent person will not look now. He will look at long term. The long term. And long term, that is intelligence. Someone is now working and squandering all his money. That's not intelligent. But someone is keeping some money. What about tomorrow? What about, some emergency? That's intelligent. He's thinking about future. But who's thinking about after death, that future? That is more intelligence. That is high intelligence. So that's what, but people are not having that vision due to being covered by illusory energy. And they're just looking at this temporary material world. So they're looking whatever they can see, and they're not having that vision. So for example, Prabhupada said that scientists in this material world, they're glorified for some small material achievement or some small medical advancement. But actually, what is the problem? They should solve the problem of death. Then we'll glorify them. They cannot do that. And therefore, they'll not discuss it. They'll not speak about it at all. Every day we find out, scientists have found out vitamin A is this good for you, or this is bad for you, or it was good, now it's bad. This is their effort. But they'll not tackle the real serious problem because they cannot do it. It's not possible. So that is the real intelligent person. Who can do that? Who can solve that problem? So mass of people are engaged in acquiring fame, wealth, and material opulences. This is their whole endeavor, and they waste so much energy for that. For someone who is on a spiritual path, he can work double than that for his purpose, spiritual benefit, because of his proper vision, understanding what I should do, what is my situation in this world, and having gotten this body, what is the best thing I can do. So that proper understanding we should get. When we philosophically understand, then that great endeavor will come. But without that, it won't come. Sometimes we tell someone, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your life? Why are you working? What is the point? Why don't you endeavor? And okay, why don't you chant? Okay, then I can't. Did you chant? I chanted one round. Did you chant? I was chanting in my mind. So after some time, then leave it. But that understanding has to come. Spiritual understanding of our situation in this material world. If we understand the situation, then we'll be very different. We'll have a very different endeavor. So therefore, Shastra puts so much emphasis on understanding, so much philosophy, so many discourses with munis and sages speaking about this point. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a story of the Narad Muni reviving the son of a king after he had died. You know the story, you read that, Chitraketu, that the king was lamenting he didn't have a son, so he married a wife specifically, then he did a yajna, he got some result of that yajna is that if someone takes that, then they will have a son. So he gave it to his, I think, youngest wife. So she had the son. Yeah, I forgot. Kritadyuti, that one. So then the son was born. Then the king put a lot of attention on the youngest wife because of that. And so the other co-wives became jealous and poisoned that son. And they were all lamenting and lamenting. Then Narad Muni came. Actually, it was him who had given that portion for producing the son. He had come in a disguise. So he said that they were lamenting for the son. So he revived the dead son. And then the dead son spoke. And he saw that they're lamenting for him because he died. So he said, which father are you? I took many births, I had many fathers, which one are you? And then he spoke about the temporality of this material world, this material body. And everyone present there understood, and the king understood, then he renounced the kingdom. He got proper understanding. So even though we're living in this world, we are seeing, we are not understanding. And one who gets that vision is, actually he's the sadhu, he's the great personality. Now great personalities, who's Forbes, richest man, top 10. We want to know about him. What is he eating? What did he say? What is his opinion about something, anything? But we want to know from that person who can take us out of that. They're considered great personality who can take us out of that illusory understanding of this material world. What is the benefit? Because just by giving that their shiksha, like here, Narad Muni, they can save us from a very hellish condition and this illusion which is perpetuating our material existence. So in Bhagavad Gita also there's a verse speaking about people who endeavor for liberation from birth and old age. Jarana marana mokshaya mama ashrita yatantiye te brahmatad vidu krishnam sarva karma chakhilam. So Krishna says, those who are endeavoring to come out of birth, of death, jara and marana, it means jarana, birth, death, old age, disease. So those who are endeavoring to come out of this, they are considered most intelligent in this world. They're most intelligent, he says. And he says that Sarva Karmachara, Brahma, they Brahma Tadvidu Krishnam. They are self-realized. They understand what is the body, what is soul. So that is mentioned. So how many people are doing that? Oh, not many. But we shouldn't be surprised. Whoever came here came to escape Krishna. We escape. We don't want to surrender to God. But the only way to go back is if we surrender. We have to surrender. Surrender to God means you have to know what He's saying. Follow it. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, instructions are given by Krishna, by sages. Our duty is to read it and follow. So following God means following the Shastra, how to live life, what to do. Because the material body is given to us. It is not our property. It is a loan. If we take a loan, we should always be conscious. I took this money, I have to return it. We'll not be very relaxed. You will know this is not my money. If you see a lot of money in the bank, it's not my money. When will I give it back? When I have to give it back. When will you come to take it? So similarly, we are given this body. It's temporary. It's temporary. Any time. Turnam yateta na pratetanam mrityavan. Turnam, immediately we should endeavor because we don't know when it will be taken back. When it will be taken. So, immediately one should endeavor. So, King Nimi understood that point. They were calling him back to the body. He said, no, I don't want to. His words were exactly. He said, do not imprison me again in this material body. So, do we think like that? This is a prison. No, it's our enjoyment. What I'll do tomorrow, what will I do day after tomorrow? But he spoke. So, self-realized soul is speaking, saying that, when don't imprison me. This is a prison. This is the reality. Whole Bhagavatam was spoken to Parikshit Maharaj. He also had opportunity. He had, you can say, enough power to overcome the curse where he was, that curse of that he had to be killed in 7 days. But having that proper understanding, he didn't try that. He said, no, I know what is this world. I know what is this life. Let me try to come out now. Of course, now if someone is undergoing so much material suffering, in modern life, something very common in Bangalore, suicide. Let me end it, they think. But after studying Shastra, we cannot end it like that. Actually, it will get worse. So, how can we end it? Like this, what Parikshit Maharaj did. He said, yes, I want to end the material life. So what will I do? By benediction of God, my body will be taken away and I know when. So that's good. I can end this term, but let me not come back. And so he sat and heard Bhagavatam and asked the questions, whatever questions needed, very pointed questions, because even we can ask different questions to sages or to some self-realized person. But his point was very clear. How can I come out? How can I escape? Why am I suffering? Of course, he starts with material manifestation. Being in material world, in material consciousness, it's recommended to also know about this material world, material manifestation, then gradually higher topics. So then atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utayah. Started with creation. He was explained Because we have to know greatness of God, His position, our position. So he inquired about creation first. How was this world created? Who's controlling it? How is it controlled? So those questions he asked first. Then gradually he progressed to higher spiritual topics. And then Shukadev Goswami, who was appreciative, understanding, devotee is always merciful and wants to assist fallen souls. So he understood that Parikshit Maharaj is keen to get deeper knowledge. And so he also spoke a lot of knowledge which he did not ask. So that's benefit of hearing from a self-realized soul. So in that way we saw Parikshit Maharaj also. He didn't try to extend anything, he just left. And Bhagavatam is full of such narrations. So Bhagavatam is expansion of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papibhyo mokshayishami ma shucha. In case we do not understand, then the example is given again. This person, that person, till the end, till 12th canto. People are renouncing. Then we also have to do it. That principle is there, yad yada chariti shrestha. So what a great man does, others follow. It is understood. So by studying all the Vedic literature, we can find what we want in different parts of the Veda for our benefit. But we should follow these great devotees. What did they do? How did they face the situation? So we should do that. And that's what's given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So devotees also, they have that idea, not to extend. They don't think like that. I have to live longer, I have to think. Of course, not that we are so keen to die. No, But our focus is, let me finish Krishna consciousness, let me do that. And do minimum amount just to go on. Kamas Sanendrapriti, Labo Jivata Yavata. Labo Jivata Yavata. We should just sustain our life enough what is needed. And Prabhupada said sense gratification is like salt. You can't take too much, but you can't take too little. So, balance. And then, with the remaining energy and time and effort, jivasa tattva jigyasa, endeavor for self-realization. That is the goal that human form is meant for. Anything else we want to do, we can do in any birth. But this material body has a great value. Anityam api hadhira. It is, how does it start? Labda sudulavam idam bahu sambhavante. Manushajam arthadam anityam api hadhira. It is temporary, but it has a great value. Yes, sure, we'll die, then it'll be, but while we have the body, this human body, it's so valuable because we can use it to study Shastra, understand, we have higher power of understanding than dog, cat, snake, or any other. Human being has a higher intelligence to study Shastra. So, therefore, a devotee realizes this point, and he'll put all his effort to escape the cycle, not to live long and prolong and prolong. Does not do that. At the same time, if a situation comes where death is maybe imminent for a devotee, and he did not finish his Krishna consciousness, then he will say, let me extend so that I can do that, so that I can finish my effort. And actually, if Krishna sees we are so keen, that happens. There's one quote of Srila Prabhupada. He said that. Someone asked Prabhupada. He said, yes, you can extend your life. I mean, Krishna will extend if he's seeing that you are so sincere, but you did not finish. So in that way, devotees defy many situations to continue their practice of Krishna consciousness. So then we will extend for that purpose. For devotees are keen to. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yes, he put the laws, he put expiry date on the body, but he can do anything. Devotees know that. We don't have to concern. Just we worship God and he will put the best situation for us, whatever is required. Sarva Shaktiman, he has all the energies. People cannot understand that. So they'll take shelter of demigods. Demigods, like give me this, give me that, extend my life, what shall I do? There's so many different bogus gurus, so-called. Take shelter of them. But devotee, if you properly read who is Krishna, what is his capability, of course God, what is capability of, we have to understand, realize that what is Krishna, what does it mean to be God? And if we understand Krishna through Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, then we'll take full shelter. Therefore, this knowledge is important to understand. And to overcome that condition of fearfulness of repeated birth and death, we have to take shelter of Krishna through his knowledge. We take shelter of Krishna, but that shelter is difficult for us to give up our attachments in our mind. I take shelter of this, that, so many things mentally. So how to come to that stage? That we have to understand who is Krishna. We have to read Bhagavad Gita, understand it, read it, and then we understand Krishna, his position, our position, and who is our real well-wisher, we'll understand. Suhridam Sarvadehinam. We'll take shelter of him. And if we do that, then we'll be able to get perfection. Then we can come to a stage like this. King Nimi got opportunity. He said, no, this is not, I don't want to come back to prison. He said. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Sorry, any question? Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, yeah, question. Yeah.
Just thinking of Bhagavatam also, this incident where the son of Grihastha is Kacha, and he went to Shukracharya to learn the art of how to revive dead body. So they was living there. He became the son-in-law of Shukracharya. He was, when Asuras asked him for the identity, and he said that his son killed him. And then revived back to life because he learned art from Shukracharya with him. It was the daughter that pushing from the husband. And that was an incident that is done.
Okay.
And another thing in the class of talking about how for some of the personalities, the Lord may extend their lifetime. So a very good example is there of Acharya. The Lord gave him another chance. And he extended his life. Then on the other hand, I was thinking of an example of Advaita Maharaj, where he was also such a spirit. Just 1 second was left, he didn't want to waste the time, he wanted to go back to back. So he had another interesting point you also said about how we should see about birth, death, or daily disease. As the Vedic approach is going on, remember in fact some verses. In one verse, Krishna very clearly speaks about Janma Mrityu Jara
Dukkha Darshana Darshana.
And then in another verse in the Gita, Krishna speaks that if one cannot transcend the modes, then what is left in this material world is Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkha. He just puts it in Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkha. If one is able to overcome the modes, he will be able to transcend. He will lead a life which is of nectar, he says. So
That is 14.
the life inside his body is preserved. On the other hand, one transcend the modes. He can experience the
Nectar in this life.
one last fight.
No, go ahead. To him, yeah.
As you said that Shankara speaks about it's a nice one, quite quote. He says, Kate Kanta Kaste Putra Samsaro Yamativa Vichitra Kastitvam Kakuta Ayata Tattvam Chintaya Tadiha Dhata. He says, who is your wife? Who is your son? Kaste Putra. Strange is this material world. Of whom are you? From where you have come? Brother, follow the truth.
Kaste Putra. Shankara. Nice. On his path of Shankara, you have to just take sannyas if you want to understand. If you want to take understand spiritual knowledge, just renounce and then come and speak. That is his system. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.